Hey gamers, if you're into fast-paced FPS boomer shooter game, then you've come to the right place. Come on bro, you're in the channel Action Games. So in this video, I will show you FPS boomer shooter game that you should play in this 2025. I know some of you might have different favorites, and that's okay. But trust me, every game on this list is an absolute banger in its own way. But before we go into the list, let's hear quick words from our sponsor. If you want to buy games with great discount, then our sponsor is what you need. And that's at Instant Gaming. Instant Gaming, it's my favorite website to buy games. Besides, you will get amazing discounts. You can also get giveaways here. I mean, look at this games. Do you believe you will get this amazing discount from another place? In Instant Gaming, you can buy for various platforms from PC, PS5, Xbox, and also Nintendo Switch. So what are you waiting for? Go check out your favorite games with the link in the description below and start save your money to buy games with Instant Gaming. By clicking my link, you'll not only save your money but also support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Number 25. Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition is a fresh take on the classic 1995 FPS that was known for its wild and quirky gameplay. This remaster brings the game into the modern era with smoother controls, revamped sound, and a handy level editor so you can build your own crazy maps. You step into the shoes of a hunt, a team member sent to a mysterious island to stop a secret cult's evil plans. The game is packed with fast-paced action, weird weapons, and plenty of surprises. This Ludicrous Edition isn't just the original game. It also includes all the old expansions plus a brand new episode created by the original developers. So if you old fans who want to get nostalgic with much better quality, this is a must-have. Number 24, Bloodshed, is a roguelike FPS game that looks and feels like the old-school Doom games. It uses pixel art to create a dark, intense atmosphere. The gameplay is super fast and action-packed, but you still need to think carefully about how you move and fight. Every time you play, you'll get random upgrades that can completely change your playstyle. One thing that makes Bloodshed different is the auto-shooting system. When an enemy shows up on your screen, your gun shoots by itself. This lets you focus on dodging and moving instead of constantly clicking. But don't worry, if you want more control, you can still reload manually. Since it's a roguelite, there are lots of things to unlock, like new characters and upgrades that make your character stronger, such as more armor or extra damage. So even if you lose a run, you're always making progress. Number 23, Dread Templar, is one of those retro-style FPS games you really don't want to sleep on, especially with all the classic-inspired indie shooters popping up lately. This game is all about super fast action, kind of like Quake, but even more intense. The movement is smooth, the shooting is rapid, and the enemies are not just mindless. They've got skills that'll keep you on your toes. You can also upgrade your weapons to become an absolute powerhouse. The game's got 5 episodes and a total of 25 levels, so there's plenty of variety when it comes to environments and the kind of challenges you'll face. But hey, it's not just mindless shooting. You've got to explore too. Hidden upgrades and secret spots are tucked away in dark corners and behind walls. Finding them feels super rewarding. Number 22, Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, is a legendary game from 1995, and for those who don't know, it's now making a comeback in a remastered version. You'll play as Kyle Katarn, a former Imperial officer turned mercenary for the Rebel Alliance. The story takes place during the era of the classic Star Wars trilogy, right in the middle of the all-out war between the Galactic Empire and the Rebel Alliance. While the gameplay sticks to the classic old-school style, there's a certain charm to experiencing this iconic adventure with modern visuals and smoother controls. What makes it even more fun is that the legendary cheat features from the original game are still here. So, after finishing the game once, you can unlock God Mode, unlimited weapons, and more for some extra fun. Number 21, Quake 2 is living proof that a legendary PC game can get ported and still look absolutely badass on console. It's kinda wild to think that one of the PlayStation's biggest technical flexes didn't come from an original title, but from a port. The single player? Super well crafted. The vibe? Totally immersive. The weapons? Insanely satisfying. And let's not forget the multiplayer. It's game-changing. All of that puts this version of Quake 2 right up there as one of PlayStation's proudest moments. Oh, and those loading screens between areas? Barely a thing. The game covers them up with quick little hallways, so it's smooth sailing. Unless, you keep dying and have to reload non-stop. Number 20, HROT, is a retro-style first-person shooter game set in the communist era of 1980s Czechoslovakia. The game features classic weapons commonly found in FPSs, such as pistols, dual-wieldable, shotguns, SMGs, crossbows, and rocket launchers. Although the weapon types aren't particularly new, each weapon feels powerful and well-balanced. Each episode in the game has a different atmosphere. The first episode has a serious and dark feel to it. The second episode is brighter and full of weird and funny stuff. As we get into the third episode, the atmosphere becomes more hilarious and fun. Although each episode has a different style, the gameplay is still exciting and full of surprises from start to finish. Number 19, Cultic, is a retro-style FPS pixelated with realistic lighting effects and physics that give the whole thing way more punch. Sure, it's clearly inspired by Blood, but Cultic ain't just some knockoff. It takes the best parts of Blood, like creepy cults, big ol' sticks of dynamite, and that eerie horror vibe, and levels it up with smoother mechanics and way snappier gameplay. The movement is super fast. You're constantly zipping around, deciding when to rush in with a shotgun and blast cultists point blank, or when to keep your distance and pick off the tougher enemies with your rifle. It's all about managing space and reacting fast. For a lot of players who grew up with the Nintendo 64, the Turok series is a sweet blast from the past, one that's hard to forget. Based on a 1950s comic, this game wasn't just one of the best FPS titles on the Nintendo 64, it was a standout for its entire generation. Turok plays like a classic 90s shooter, kinda like Quake or the old-school Doom, or even Doom 2016. There's no auto-heal, no reloading, and the levels are huge, maze-like, and full of secrets to explore. As you play, you'll keep picking up stronger and crazier weapons, starting with simple pistols and shotguns, all the way to wild stuff like the particle accelerator, which literally turns enemies into explosive statues. And the remastered version brings a bunch of welcome upgrades, sharper textures, better lighting and particle effects, and a super smooth 60 FPS frame rate. Number 17, Postal Brain Damaged, is a wild first-person shooter and a spin-off from the infamous Postal series. And unlike the main Postal games that usually go for an open-world vibe, Brain Damaged takes things back to the old-school roots of classic boomer shooters. You play as the one and only Postal dude, diving deep into his own twisted subconscious, a place packed with weird, wild, and downright insane stuff. Think of it as a mix of fast-paced gunfights, over-the-top violence, and dark humor. Now, fair warning, this game definitely isn't for everyone. If you're not into crude jokes or extreme gore, you might want to skip it. But if you're a fan of fast, fluid FPS action, crazy weapons, and non-stop intense combat, then yeah, Postal Brain Damaged is right up your alley. Number 16, Forgive Me Father 2, is a game that's not afraid to go all out. It fully embraces the extreme, whether it's the visuals, the gameplay, or the story. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it stand out. The combat feels intense and super satisfying, with a wide variety of weapons and special abilities that turn every fight into a wild, action-packed moment. But it's not just about shooting fast, you've got to think smart too. Enemies get tougher as you go, and one small mistake can cost you big time. That extra layer of strategy adds tension, but in a way that makes the whole experience even more fun. Now sure, this game isn't for everyone, but if you're into fast-paced retro FPS games that are brutal, stylish, and dripping with gore, then yeah, this one's a must-play. Number 15, Forgive Me Father 2, is a game that dares to be different. This game blends dark storytelling with over-the-top, bloody battles, and honestly, that's exactly what makes it stand out. The combat mechanics fun and satisfying. You can get a wide variety of weapons and special abilities that make every fight feel intense and epic. But it's not just about fast shooting, you've got to think smart too. Enemies keep getting tougher, so every move matters. One small mistake, yeah, it could cost you big time. That tension actually makes the game even more exciting. Number 14, Amid Evil the Black Labyrinth, is the latest prequel episode from the popular boomer shooter game created by Indefatigable and New Blood Interactive. This episode takes players back to the time before the main story, revealing the early tale of the champion and how they acquired their legendary weapon. The gameplay of Amid Evil has been solid from the start, and the Black Labyrinth continues to deliver that same excellence. Every minute is packed with surprises, like switches that turn out to be deadly traps or corridors that constantly shift and change. Although some areas are a bit too dark, this shadowy atmosphere actually adds to the challenge and tension. In my opinion, the quality of the design, gameplay, and atmosphere is so high that it will definitely make you want to explore even more. Number 13, Ion Fury, is a classic first-person shooter that hits right at home for anyone who grew up in the 90s. But this isn't just another retro-inspired game. It actually lives and breathes that golden era of shooters. You play as Shelly, a soldier cop fighting her way through a chaotic cyberpunk world. Her mission is to take down a mad scientist who's trying to turn people into cyborgs. Yeah, the story's simple, but that's exactly what makes it feel so authentic, like a classic 90s action movie. But here's where Ion Fury levels up, literally. The stages are way bigger and more open than your average retro shooter. There's flashy lighting, tons of verticality, secrets around every corner, and a soundtrack that slaps hard with synthwave vibes. Also, enemies react differently depending on where you shoot them, which adds that nice modern polish. Number 12, Turbo Overkill, is a retro-style FPS boomer shooter packed with action, where you can take down tons of mutants in a brutally stylish way. The game is divided into 3 episodes, each consisting of several action-packed levels. However, this episodic structure can disrupt the fast-paced rhythm of the gameplay. Many cool abilities, like the grappling hook and slow-mo, only become available towards the end of the game, which can be disappointing for players who want to use them earlier. But since it's still in early access, the pacing can sometimes feel a bit convoluted, and you'll need to be patient to unlock those awesome abilities. If you enjoy brutal games that can be played in short sessions, this is definitely one worth trying out. Number 11, Mullet MADJACK, brings that classic 90s anime vibe, and it's backed by some seriously cool synthwave music. You play as Jack, a bounty hunter who's got to climb to the top of Nakamura Plaza to rescue a princess influencer trapped by some evil robots. It's a roguelite FPS with a crazy fast pace. You need to clear each floor of the building in under 30 seconds. The gameplay feels a lot like Post-Void, where you sprint through tight hallways while blasting enemies. Every kill adds to your combo and gives you extra time to keep going, but getting hit takes time away from you. Because each floor can be finished in less than 30 seconds, the whole campaign stays super tight and never gets boring. Number 10, Shadow Warrior 3 Definitive Edition, is the complete package for anyone looking for a fun shooter with a short story but deep and challenging gameplay. The movement in this game is super smooth. You've got an easy dodge and a grappling hook that lets you latch onto enemies. There are plenty of challenges that reward you with upgrades for your weapons and skills. The challenges range from easy to tricky, and you can unlock cool stuff like weapon skins to show off your style. The coolest part of the Definitive Edition has got to be the Survival Arena mode. And after round 15, the mode switches to endless, so you can keep battling and try to get the highest score while scavenging for health and ammo to survive. Number 9, Prodeus, is a first-person shooter that brings total retro-style chaos, and sure, you're gonna like it. The story's more like an excuse to throw you into weirder and more demonic levels. It blends modern graphics with retro-style filters and low frame rates to nail that classic FPS vibe. The gameplay feels super fast and smooth, especially on PC with a mouse and keyboard. But if you're chilling on a console, the controller feels great too. You can run, jump, and shoot with tight, responsive controls. There are a ton of weapons, and each one plays differently. The pistol turns into a burst-fire beast when you aim. The shotgun can be charged up for a huge blast, and the rocket launcher? You can detonate it mid-air whenever you want. So yeah, you won't get bored. You're constantly switching tactics based on what ammo you've got left. Number 8, Selaco, is a retro-modern FPS that feels like a slick mashup between Fear and Doom with a fresh modern twist on how it plays. You take on the role of a security captain stationed in Selaco, a massive underground facility that's basically humanity's last refuge after Earth went boom. The game actually has a solid story if you're into that, told through data logs and scattered emails that you'll come across as you explore each level. But what really sets Selaco apart from your average boomer shooter? It's how it blends tactical gunplay straight out of Fear with that raw, chaotic brutality you'd expect from Doom. If you're playing on Commander mode, enemies can drop you in seconds, so you've got to stay sharp. But man, when you finally time it right, sliding out from cover, blasting a squad with your SMG, shotgun, or revolver, it feels so good. Number 7, DUSK, is a shooter that blends classic FPS action with a modern edge. You play as Dusk Dude, a guy who wakes up in a basement with nothing but a sickle. Your mission is to fight your way out and escape to the cursed town of Dusk, Pennsylvania, where you'll face off against all kinds of twisted enemies, from deranged cultists to mutated cows. The combat is fast, intense, and brutally satisfying. Enemy variety keeps you on your toes, and as the campaign progresses, the challenges get even more punishing. You'll constantly have to make split-second decisions, like which enemy to prioritize or the best angle to attack from. Like most retro shooters, DUSK doesn't do regenerating health. Want more HP or ammo? Go find it yourself. Number 6, Warhammer 40k Boltgun. This game isn't just fun, it's got that awesome retro boomer shooter vibe. Enemies are everywhere, bullets are flying, and the maps are like maze-like death traps full of surprises. You play as a battle-hardened ultramarine sent to wipe out traitor forces on the planet Forge Greya. You can sprint, jump, and dash like in Warframe, making every fight fast-paced and super satisfying. The weapons in Boltgun are powerful, from the classic bolter to plasma guns and heavy bolters. Each one has brutal, crunchy destruction that feels amazing. Plus, the visual design is phenomenal, and it's only going to get better. So if you love retro shooters, this game is a must-play. Number 5, Metal Hellsinger, isn't just another boomer shooter, it's something special. Why? Because it's built around rhythm-based gameplay. That's right, every shot, dash, and ultimate ability must sync with the beat of the game's killer metal soundtrack. The better your combo, the more intense the music gets. Start with just drums, but as your multiplier climbs, guitars kick in, vocals roar, and suddenly, you're not just playing, you're conducting chaos. Each weapon has its own ultimate ability, like a lightning strike that freezes enemies or a speed boost that turns you into a demon-slaying blur. Sure, the weapon selection could be bigger, and the final boss gets a little too hectic, but Metal Hellsinger nails something fresh: the rhythm FPS. If this is the start of a new genre, we need a sequel.
Behold the face of infernal justice.
Number 4, Traping 2, is a fast-paced, action-packed first-person shooter that pays homage to classic slow-motion shooters that combines intense combat with stealth mechanics. You play as Subject 106, a super soldier who escapes from prison to fight against the evil Horizon Corporation that likes to make experiments fail. The game's core appeal lies in its fluid combat system, giving players a tactical edge to dodge bullets, line up precise shots, and control the battlefield. Even though the game is short, around 6 to 12 hours, there's plenty of replay value. If you want a bigger challenge, you can try the combat simulator or replay the game on harder difficulties. Not only that, it has fun classic cheats like Big Head Mode, infinite ammo, and more. Such a cool throwback. Number 3, Wolfenstein: The New Order, feels like a wild mix of Inglourious Bastard, over-the-top sci-fi, and old-school shooter nostalgia. It's brutal, loud, and surprisingly full of moments that actually make you stop and think. The story hits hard, the gameplay is a blast, and the presentation goes all in. You play as Blazkowicz, a tough-as-nails World War II vet who ends up in a coma after a failed mission in 1946. Your mission is join the resistance and take the fight to the Nazis. From there, it's non-stop action, gunfights, explosions, and pure revenge-fueled chaos. But beneath all that madness, the game sneaks in some real emotional moments, dark humor, and character interactions that actually make you care about the people you're fighting alongside at Resistance HQ. Number 2, ULTRAKILL, isn't just your average FPS. It's a masterpiece of pure chaos, lightning-fast movement, deep gameplay mechanics, and an adrenaline-pumping soundtrack that never lets up. If you're looking for a game that makes you feel like a god of destruction, with slick movement and insanely satisfying weapon combos, this is the one. The gameplay? It's crazy smooth. You're actually rewarded for playing with style, like juggling enemies in midair, parrying your own shotgun blasts, or even bouncing bullets off coins to land precision kills. Every level grades you on your performance, pushing you to play faster, flashier, and way more efficiently. So if you're into fast-paced action, deep mechanics, and the sheer joy of stylishly tearing through enemies, don't even think twice. Grab this game now. And the number 1, Doom: The Dark Ages. Yes, this game pulls off something pretty rare for a long-running series. It brings fresh new stuff while still feeling totally like Doom. But unlike Doom Eternal, which is all about fast, fluid movement, The Dark Ages gives you a heavier, more armored warrior vibe. You move like a knight in full armor, slower but way more powerful. You get to use a shield not just for defense, but also for offense, blocking enemy attacks, bouncing blows back to stun foes, and even throwing your shield like Captain America to slice through a bunch of enemies at once. Of course, not only that, there are plenty of old-school looking weapons that still pack a punch. You can quickly switch between ammo-based guns and others, keeping fights exciting and dynamic. So that's it for today. What do you think about this list? I know there are some FPS boomer shooter game that I haven't mentioned yet, so you can tell your favorite in the comment section below. And don't forget to like this video, and make sure you subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss another great list. And as always, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.